Meanwhile, here back home, everyone is wondering, is the big, beautiful bill going to be passed? And one of the people is an ally of the president, Elon Musk. He said this on Wednesday. Call your senators, call your congressmen. Bankrupting America is not okay. He's advocating to kill the bill, Ainsley.
Then there's an article in the Wall Street Journal this morning that says Trump is losing patience with Musk's outburst over the mega bill. They write, a senior White House official said Trump wasn't happy about Musk's decision to lambast his signature legislation, describing the president as confused as to why the Tesla chief executive decided to ratchet up his criticism after working so closely with the president for 4 months. The official said senior Trump advisors were caught off guard by Musk's latest offensive.
Couple of things. There's some speculation he's upset that his pick for NASA, to run NASA, was not confirmed. He went with somebody else.
The green card credit as well.
Yeah, and he's upset about the tax subsidy for electric cars. But keep in mind, this bill is really not a spending bill. They're trying to make the tax cuts permanent, build up the military, and build up the border. Those are pretty much what President Trump ran on. He's got between $600 and $800 billion in cuts. Senator Josh Hawley says too much cuts to Medicaid. Some Republicans like Rand Paul go, not enough cuts to Medicaid. Same thing with the House. Same thing with Susan College. Too much cuts to Medicaid. Ron Johnson, not enough cuts to Medicaid. So the president has got to run this orchestra along with the speaker and majority leader. It is not his option to sit on the sideline and snipe. I can't believe Musk doesn't understand that.
The problem with that Musk is running into is that he's done a lot of this with a lot of his companies where he's the ultimate decision maker. He doesn't have to go to, different congressmen from different states to get approval. And so he thought when he became the head of DOGE under the leadership of the president, when he did all these cuts, that they were going to be permanent because he did all the work there. Well, the government just doesn't work that way.
There can also be a second reconciliation bill if they're not happy with how this one goes. There could also be changes to the budget in September. But you have the head of the Senate, head in the House. You have John Thune and Speaker Johnson reacting to this. Listen.
We're a long ways down this track, and we realize that this is a bill that the House spent a lot of time analyzing. I think we've said we've had like 18 different meetings now with the Senate Finance Committee, and we're committed to making a law that will make the lives of the American people better. And so we are moving forward, and I'm hopeful that at the end we'll have 51 votes in the Senate.
We don't have time for a brand new bill, and I want Elon and all my friends to recognize the complexity of what we've accomplished here. This extraordinary piece of legislation. We're proud of this product. The House Republicans are proud of it, and we're happy to go out and explain that to everybody.
By the way, I think that they're betting on the growth. They bet if you give people more of their own money, if you put investment into these sectors, especially when it comes to energy, this country will grow more than the 1.8% the Office of Management and Budget thinks it will. So right now, the nonprofit CBO, they say nonpartisan, CBO says we're only going to grow 1.8%. It's going to add X amount to the deficit. Not if everything goes the way it did last time. You can get the growth necessary to work on the deficit down the line.
The CBO also, to your point, Brian, they don't include the tariffs, and they also don't include the cuts that were made.
We made $69 billion in tariffs so far.
Exactly right. So they're not including that when they scored this bill.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.